Hey, back again with guess who? Amy. Amy, you brought up a post today because what it is everybody talks about slavery and there's all these problems with rioting and that going on and black matters and stuff like that, when we actually just go to, I'll just show you, it's Wikipedia. Let's just show it. There you go. Wikipedia. And basically it talks about white slavery.
Yes.
Talks about in the
That's
Ottoman
right.
ancient Rome, chattel slavery, Europeans, North African, Muslim world. So, what's that there? Let's have a look. There's a little map there. Right, Europeans, what's it doing? Indigenous people. Slavery in a system which principles of property law are applied to people, allowing individuals to own, buy and sell their individuals. Oh, so basically, what was your take on it all then, Amy? It's there in 1847 because it's got history and it puts that in. What's your take on all this, Amy?
Yes. Well, I was watching a video last night by Dana Ashley, and she was the one that was brought it up, and she had books, and she was using the Wikipedia site that you just referred to, and talking about how the white people were slaves right alongside with the black people, and the Berber pirates, what they would do is kidnap white people, especially women and children, and then I believe they took them to Africa, and then from there they would send them over to be slaves. But with the black slaves, they paid a lot of money for them, so they tried to keep them a little bit safer for them, but not the white people. They just kidnapped them and then
what
took
it was
them,
is
so
people,
they had to go to...
Oh, carry on, Amy. Sorry, I'm butting in there, Amy. Carry on.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, the white people had the worst conditions. They were brought over on these ships, and we've heard that the black people had that too, but the white people also were kept in these ships way down the bottom, chained up, just all on top of each other, because they were crammed in, there was hardly any room, and they were getting sick, and many of them died. And then when they were slaves, the women and children were treated horribly. The women were abused, and it was really bad. They really suffered. So black and white people were both slaves.
Because I have to say, when I looked up the bit about when we went over to America in the 1800s, we were put into isolation and our children were taken, and that's where the orphan trains come from. But basically, when they were talking about those people, all immigrants were slaves. What I mean is, the immigrants were all from all different countries, and they called them NIGGERSs. They were called that. It didn't matter whether you were white, pink, blue, black, whatever it was, you were called that. So that's a bit strange, because we associate that with black people, that word, and it isn't. It was all slaves were called that. So that's really incredible, isn't it? I mean, maybe Tartaria wasn't a very nice place then. They had nice buildings, but they had lots of slaves.
Yes, that's right. And Dana Ashley was pointing out that we don't hear about the white people being slaves because the Hollywood has just put out all about the black slavery, because they're going along with the narrative. People would love to see a movie about how it really was, that the blacks and whites were both slaves, but that's not going to go along with the narrative and the agenda that the media, and the governments want us to believe. So it's all more about all of the deception.
You know that Barbary slave trade? It's got the Ottoman. The Ottoman is Turkey.
Yes.
Oh, it says Algiers. Ottoman. But the Ottoman Empire was part of the Turkish Empire. But that says Algiers
Yes.
till 1830. See, 1830 again. Oh.
Yes.
So maybe it
There you
changed. Remember
go.
with Queen Victoria?
Yes.
Anyway, there's a whole section
Interesting.
there if people want to read it about the Barbary slave trade. They can just stop the video and watch it because it's too much for me to read out. We'd be here till tomorrow.
Yes, and if they want to check out Dana Ashley, her video that she put out has loads of information. That's how I found out about it. But she's called Dana Ashley, and you can just type her, if you're not subscribed to her, you could just type her name into YouTube and
Cool. Do you know what?
bring
There's
her
the
channel.
Oh, I've just lost it. Sorry. There's the Barbary Wars, were a series of conflicts culminating in two main wars fought between the United States, Sweden, and the Barbary States, North Africa, in the late 18th and 19th centuries. There you go. It's a bit different then, isn't it? So that's a bit different to what we've been told, isn't it? In the late 18th and 19th century, it's like, what? Africa's in. Oh my goodness, everything's changing in front of us.
Exactly. It's just, it's like a Twilight Zone series. Just bizarre. But they don't want people, they want to keep the black and white people divided, so they don't want to tell that the white people were slaves every bit as much as the black people, that we were in it together.
Yeah, and that's why we have to stick together. We are all together.
Yes.
Oh
Yes,
my God!
we're all
What
the
have we? What is?
same.
You know what? I've actually said before that Tartaria might not have been a very nice place. You know, it could have been even worse than we're in now. But it's got
Right.
really bad again, so it's almost like we're back in the same place again, aren't we?
Exactly, yes. So, you know, they just want us to be so divided, and when really we are just all the same people we've had the same history, but they don't want us to know that, and then that's a way to just build up enmity between us, and it is a very cruel thing to do.
It's even got human trafficking in there, which is something they're so today. We've been human trafficked as it is.
That's right.
That's why I think we're so mixed up with our bloodlines. Because, like I said, you in America, you've got English in you. Me, I've got Europe in me. Talk to anybody on a hangout. Oh, I'm English, Greek, English, this. We've all been moving around. This is because of why? Because we've come from slaves.
Exactly.
I don't think it's that long ago. It's in the 1800s.
That's
So
right.
whatever was going on in America, they don't talk about that. They talk about the I can't say his name now. What's his name? I can't think of his name. I'm so tired.
Oh,
Napoleon. Neapolitan
yes.
times. They talk about him, but at the same time, he's conquering and ravishing everywhere. All this is going on.
Exactly.
That's different, but I did say before we had this hangout, you know, in the UK, we supposedly had a double-decker train which came to Euston Station until 1971, but nobody remembers that. And then I did another video where they were showing mobile phones in the 1940s and cars and things.
That's right. I know.
Anyway, we've been going for 8 minutes, Amy. So what's our message to everybody? We've all been slaves.
Absolutely.
It's not just the coloured people or black people, whichever way you want it, because I don't want to offend anybody. But the white people were slaves too.
Yes. And, you know, so we're all a victim of what the governments are trying to do to us. So we need to ignore, you know, the televisions and ignore the mainstream media and what Hollywood puts out, and just ignore all that and just, you know, love each other and get along. Because we're all the same. We've all suffered.
I love you, Amy.
Bad people.
I love you, Amy.
Love you too, Karen. Love you
Amy
too.
always says such good things you do. I say to everybody, when Amy started out, she was really shy. She never said anything for maybe the first hangout.
Yes. Oh. Well, you
Not
make me
very
feel
good though, is it, that we're
comfortable,
finding
Karen.
out that our history keeps changing all the time. I don't like that. We can't rely on any of this.
Me
We can't
neither.
even rely on this because they lie so much to us. But why not talk about it? It's part of our history that we were all slaves. They don't talk about that, do they?
That's right. Because they want to keep their narrative.
Do you know what I
and
think
their
it is?
agenda going.
Tartarian looks very Middle Eastern. They don't want to admit the Middle East was the bigger place, and that's I mean, they must have been quite refined there because the buildings are so great. But they're lying. They're just lying. Somewhere else was obviously bigger.
That's right. That's a good point, Karen. Yes.
It looks, and you know, like when you look at Brighton Dome, I'm just going to find a picture, hang on. Supposedly, this was built and it's around for Queen Victoria, but just look at it. Does that look English at all? It looks Indian, and I know that we have this link with India, but look at it. There are buildings like this all around the world. It looks more like a synagogue or something, but yeah, so, you know, unfortunately, I bet there's other places in the UK that look like this. They're just not talked about. I mean, look at this. Just absolutely amazing inside. There's an older picture of it. But, and of course, got Brighton Pier, and we don't even understand all those either. But look at this. Look what's inside. Look at it. What have we come from? What was this?
Well,
we don't have any idea, do we, what we're in, what all this is about.
I know.
You know, they could have been here because we were their slaves.
That's true, yes. That's
anyway,
right.
Amy, we don't have any answers, do we? We just try and unscramble it.
Yes, we tried. That's right.
We've put that notion in your head now. We were all slaves, so please get off all that rioting and all that stuff. We've all been slaves. Or do you want the white people to do it? You know, start going out and... We don't want all that. We want peace and harmony.
Absolutely, yes.
It's the only way, somehow, and to stick together. Anyway, Amy, last word from you.
Absolutely. I love you, Karen. Thank you.
No, Amy, that's twice today you've come to me with things.
I know.
It was a bit hard to put it because, you know, like we were, when we went to America, we were all slaves. All of us.
Yes.
No matter, you know, when we went there. So there was some original ones. They'd come over from Holland or wherever it was. I think it was Holland. And so that's when it was called New Amsterdam. And then then another flux came over, and then they seemed to go into these quarantines, and then they took the children. And, you know, it just all, I don't know, it just all ties in with this like 1830s, 1840s, when Queen Victoria is now handing over power to government.
Yes.
Well, the government's made then to handle the people from slavery. Why not say it? Why not tell us the truth?
I know. I don't know why they don't tell us the truth.
But the sad thing is, now they're enslaving and bonding us again in another way right now by lying to us and making all those deep fake news. The whole thing is fake.
Exactly. And forcing people to wear masks that
which is against
are
the World Health Organization. They say only wear them. You know, they tell you not to wear them. Only the medical people should be wearing them.
That's right. But the governments are being insistent, many of them in the United States.
Yeah, because they've got to make it look like it's a million times worse than it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, I put in Palace 1800 because I wanted to see what it brought up. I'm not even going to try and say that one, but there's that one. There's, what did I say, Crystal Palace. Then there's obviously Buckingham Palace, which is there. Then there's Blenheim Palace. Hampton Court Palace. The palaces.
Wow.
It's only obviously giving me UK at the moment, really. Well, that one at the top wasn't. Persian Royal Palace. There's palaces everywhere.
Wow.
Palaces. Look, there's another one there. That's a castle. We were looking at palaces. Look at that. Wow. What does it mean, all these palaces?
I don't know.
That is beautiful Crystal Palace being Never realised how Regent's Crest, I think it might be Brighton. Michael here. Then there's Belvedere Palace, Vienna. They're more like houses rather than castles. Because castles don't say palace, do they?
No, that's right. Wonder what's the difference? I guess a palace is more
where
elaborate.
The king and queen live.
Yeah.
It's hard to know, isn't it, what's happened to us? I was hoping maybe to see some more dome-like ones, like the Brighton one, but I don't. But they're houses. Right, we just wanted to look up before we went what is a moat. So basically that's that. So we're going to put in palace now.
Yeah.
A palace is a large and impressive building forming the official residence of a ruler, a pope, an archbishop, etc. I never really thought of popes and archbishops being in palaces.
Right.
And that's what it says. But I thought that's what castles were about. So they had the castles and they must have had palaces as well. I thought the king and queen were in the castles.
Yeah, I did too.
So there you go. Wow.
Yes.
I think that's amazing though. So to everybody, we've all been slaves, all of us, and we need to stick together.
That's right.
Yes, Amy?
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Please, everybody,
Absolutely.
we need to stick together. Whatever they're doing to us is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
That's right.
Amy?
Well said.
Thank you so much, as ever. Love you, Amy.
You're welcome, Karen. Love you too.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome, darling.
we're having an internet kiss. No, thank you, Amy.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
You're
to the
welcome.
channel. Anyway, thank you.
Yes.